Would you paint your old furniture if you could do it in one day? You didn't need to sand or prime, and the supplies were only $60? That is exactly how we painted this dresser. First, I took off all the old drawer pulls, and then I cleaned the dresser with Crud Cutter to remove any dust and oils so the paint would stick better. I lined my little paint roller tray with some tin foil so I wouldn't have to clean it up after painting, and then I poured some Heirloom Traditions Paint in the color Oyster into the paint tray. I used their brush and roller to paint the paint onto the dresser, brushing the paint on first, and then rolling the paint out so there weren't any brush marks. It seemed to work best when I brushed on a thin layer of paint and then rolled over the paint with a roller that didn't have that much paint on it. So I didn't really use that paint tray very much. Between coats of paint, I wrapped everything with some tin foil to keep it from drying out, and I let the paint dry for about 2 hours before painting the next coat. After the first coat was dry, there was some extra rough texture on the drawers, probably because it was windy out and dust fell onto the paint while it was drying. So I sanded all of that out with 220 grit sandpaper, and I did a little bit more sanding here and there to remove some bigger texture. This part was totally optional, but in my opinion, totally worth it for a more smooth feeling finish. Then I scratched out the paint pretty hard with my fingernail to see if the paint would scratch off. It held up pretty well, scratching off only a tiny bit, which is pretty awesome for only drying for a few hours. With this color, it took 3 coats to get full coverage, and each coat took about 45 minutes to an hour to paint on. When all 3 coats were dry, I debated putting on new hardware, but I wanted this to be a quick and easy and cheap makeover, so I just put the old hardware back on. Can you see the texture in the paint though? You can see it when you're up close in the right lighting. I personally don't love the texture, but I think there might be a few of you out there that don't mind it. And here is the final look. In just a day, this dresser got a whole new look. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Are you confused and not sure where to start with your furniture makeover? Don't worry, I got your back. Click the link in my comment to download our free painting checklist so you can paint your furniture as if you hired a professional to do it.